Our music is great, man. It's just that I think the way we put the names, the way we talk about it is wrong. You know, sometimes even just the fact that we refer to it as jazz, sometimes it's problematic if when we think jazz, we think American, then there's something wrong. For example, I think it's the same thing that one would say with hip-hop and other things. You know, I think Americans, they grow up listening to other different things, man. We grew up listening to other things. How do we show, for example, that we have an influence from Umtu, for example? Why can't we suddenly just hear? You know, suddenly, because that's the ability of jazz. So now, it tells you something also. It means now as soon as we start going to the schools and learn jazz the way many people are thinking about it, then we go away from our natural perspective of jazz, because then we learn it according to the way they learned it, and that's going to a secondary source. Actually, they call it right, it's a tertiary source. So there is a risk that as long as we learn it not from the masters, then there is a risk of it being eroded, so to speak. But we have hope as well, because we have always coped as black people. I think we can even cope with academia. They erode the thing, we can still go and create another one, because we do jazz, right? We improvise. Jazz is freedom and jazz is struggle. Those terms, they are intertwined with jazz. The fact that you have to improvise, it means you're trying to free yourself from the established stuff. It's in the making of the music that we are trying to seek the freedom. And the seeking of the freedom is the struggle in itself. It's an everyday narrative. It's just that because a lot of South Africans had gone outside, and they've been written about in the 70s. It seemed as if it's something that happens in the era, but it's freedom in struggle now. Go to any jazz musician, talk about all the popular jazz musicians now. Where are they? They're not in mansions. They're still trying to play piano. They're still trying to do other things, and nobody knows about them. It's a very, few platforms like this where we can. Jazz, the musicians themselves, they still have that narrative of struggle, because we struggle first to get the education, and we get it from the wrong people. And then after, we struggle to make sense out of it, then we struggle to even sell it to people. The narrative still persists, but also it's a deeper struggle. It's the struggle of finding yourself, finding your soul within what you have been told, and trying to make it relevant. Then you have to pay rent as well. And then you're being exploited, because jazz also sometimes goes with other patriarchal notions of humility as well, and respect, where it's not easy for people to be talking about cash, and about the fact that, sometimes we learn it so much that we just like to play it without having to deal with very pertinent issues of survival. So the narrative from the beginning, remember what precipitated the beginning of jazz is the fact that musicians were kicked, because of the racism, black musicians were kicked out of orchestras and whatever. And then what did they do? They sit bodybuilding, and then they're just hanging around, and they're starting to hear something in their heart, and they're using Western instruments to say something. That's struggle, that's improvisation. Music is here all over. It's just the people that own the institutions that don't want to honor it. We know our music is here. You go to church, the music is there, man. Traditional dances. We just need to get people, we need black capital. We need black intelligentsia, and we need black spaces, so that we don't always have to fight with these people and forcing them to make their fields fall, because that's not the aim of them starting these institutions in the beginning anyway. We need to have an African institute. Not only the institute, it doesn't have to start content, because content is here We just need to get people to make research and find out how they can put the thing into a curriculum. I mean, it's very strange that people they called jazz professionals and they have music degrees because they've got a semblance of Western art form. It's very embarrassing, actually. Then you have to go to America and they ask you about Africa. You know you don't know enough of it. And then we need the media. We need to reconscientize. We need to reimagine ourselves, our Africanness. And so I think that's a solution, really. First, you must take the people that are practitioners of African music and put those people in schools. You know, these we stay in UCT now. You know, we just have to have more, so that you can see your lecturers in class and you can see your lecturers at the jam session. You know, that's all. The music is here, man. It's just more structured. We need people that are that as I was saying, black capital, people that will invest money into an African music institute. Leave every day. It's just haphazard. It's just that they have to deal with stuff that they're faced with now. If you've got $10 and you need to go somewhere else, you try and get get the taxi now. You can't say maybe you want to get a cab. So that's how we deal with it. So now, you were saying we've got the Western instrument, right? Number one. Two, you've got our traditional thing, the stuff that we feel inside. We put the two together and we try and use the other one as a vehicle of expression. That's improvisation. And because with jazz we know there's notes here, but we don't like how you know, the stuff that comes with it, like, you know. And you get that thing in class. But you know, it doesn't sound nice. So we improvise by taking, like I was saying, the stuff that's there and putting it in according to the way we feel it inside. Jazz, even itself as an art form, is kind of improvisatory because it's every time it strives to adapt with everyday music. You know, how, for example, you know, how Robert Glasper has actually, you know, tried to adopt to R&B. We know Miles Davis has been doing that thing up until even from here to time after time.